Keighley Cougars have done it again, yet another first.
Oh yeah!
This is Cougar Vision, the Cougars' very own TV programme, here each week on Yorkshire Cable. I'm Beth, and during the coming season, I'll be following the Cougars' progress before, during and after the match. Cut. Sun. This is a sports programme like you've never seen before, and we have a few surprises in store for you. This week we'll be featuring two matches. The first game of the season against the newly named Barrow Braves and last weekend's match against the London Crusaders. Great things are expected of the Cougars this year, particularly after winning the championship last season. And the first game gave the Cougars a chance to prove themselves and set the pace for the season. John Blizzard commentates.
And now it's feeding time.
Well, the crowd giving the welcome to the Keighley Cougars as they take the park here at Craven Park, Barrow. It's the first game of the new season, Division 2, and a rapturous welcome the Keighley supporters are giving their favourites. They've travelled up in convoy today from Keighley. They left there at 10:30. It's now almost 2:30 and kick-off time, and they've arrived here to take on the new named Barrow Braves. The teams for this afternoon: the Keighley side resplendent in their new kit. At fullback is Keith Dixon. The three-quarters, John Vasilou, Nick Pinkney and Greg Austin are the centres, with Johnny Walker on the opposite wing, Darren Appleby and Andy Ayres the half-backs, and Joe Grimmer, Jason Ramshaw, Ian Gately, Steve Hall, Mark Brook-Cowden and Martin Wood making up the forwards. The substitutes for Keighley: Carlton Farrell and Phil Stevenson. And the referee in the centre of the field at the moment, he's Mr. Dave Carter from Widnes, the same official in charge here for this match last season. Joe Grimmer obviously winning the toss. He's asking Andy Ruane, the Barrow hooker and captain, to turn round and play the other end. Joe opting to take his charge towards the support where the Keighley followers are all gathered underneath that stand, and quickly the Barrow Braves side: Graham Petcher, fullback; Richard Creary, Gary Westwood, Patrick Traynor and Phil Everett, the three-quarters; Wayne Jackson and Mike Kavanagh, the half-backs, with Bob Eccles, Andy Ruane, Piers Bent, Stuart Rhodes, Derek Hadley, Stephen Shaw, the forwards; Chris Honey and Neil Casson are the substitutes for Barrow. Well, the Barrow side have been renamed the Braves. There's been a lot of hype in the press this last week about it. Up here at Barrow, they're saying, the Keighley lads are saying they've come up here, they're going to sort this Barrow side out. And down below there on the field, the Barrow Braves, they're adamant that they're going to scalp Keighley. Will it be a scalping? Will it be the Cougars' last stand? Or will the Braves take to the hills? We shall all find out in the next 80 minutes. Joining me up here on the Ganter this afternoon, I've got Jeff Butterfield, certainly a player in contention with the Keighley side for this season, with the full-back position certainly not firmly fixed in anybody's shoes. Welcome to the commentary position, Jeff. In for a good game, we hope.
Yeah, I hope so. I think you'll find, first of all, the first 10 minutes they'll just suss each other out, and I think we'll take it from there.
Thanks very much, Jeff. We'll be calling on you as the game progresses. Meantime, that ball's been taken into the Barrow 30-metre area. Tremendous tackling stint going on by the Cougars in the first instance here, just letting the Barrow side know that they've arrived. Play some 15 metres from the halfway line. That looks like Stuart Rhodes leading the charge to the halfway line, but well met there by Martin Wood and Steve Hall. Steve Hall having a stint in Australia during the summer break. It's the last tackle, says Mr. Carter of Widnes. And Andy Ruane, skipper here at Barrow, signed from Lee during the close season, pushing that ball deep into the Keighley territory. Well taken though there, and well protected by the wingman Johnny Walker. Nick Pinkney there just getting an early touch of the ball, trying to run it out, but Ayres now onto Martin Wood. Wood dodging, and lovely ball out there to Austin. John Vasilou going up the touchline side. Vasilou steps inside. He's going, is Vasilou. Is he going to register the third points for Keighley? It's a Vasilou try. It's a tremendous try. Oh, what a superb break that was for Keighley. Jeff Butterfield, you watched that round the back of the camera crew, but what a belting try that was, and how well Greg Hoskin opened the defence.
That's right, all started from his own 25, and Martin Wood just fed Greg Austin a better man, and on to Johnny Vasilou, who broke 80 yards up the field. Yeah, brilliant try, good start for Keighley.
Vasilou then collected himself, sets up, the crowd, oh, and it's bounced in over the bar. Other line than 10. And it's out predictably to Barrow. Nice ball out there, but not taken. Greg Austin on the up there to pick it up, but leaving a gap, but the Keighley defence covering it off quickly there as Gary Westwood sweeps up for Barrow. Creary going on his own down this wing side, but into a real gang of Keighley defenders there. 10 metres out as the ball goes through Kavanaugh's hands. Long ball out. Keighley a bit stretched at the far side now, and doing extremely well there. Keith Dixon on his opposite number picture to squash that attack. Certainly Keighley were facing a lot of numbers against them there. Play still 10 metres from the Keighley line, but right in front of their posts. Eccles moves that ball on there to Hadley. Last tackle again. Keighley now, this is the 18th tackle in succession that they've faced. Ruane, a little kick through there, but had to be dabbed away at the last minute by Keith Dixon, hoping the ball might have gone dead, but not so. Good tackling there though, Jeff, by the Keighley defence. The ball there in the tackle just to give Keighley the chance to compose themselves after having absorbed all those tackles, but it's back to them again now. The loose forward there, Stephen Shaw coming out of the pack with the ball, but Andy Ayres on station to do the tackling. This is Hadley. The crowd below saying that's the same as before, but there was certainly no releasing of the player in the tackle. And again, it's Stuart Rhodes this time, making a hole in the Keighley defence, but the defence shutting tightly. Ruane switching play back to Kavanagh. Kavanagh looking for a hole and being obstructed. The referee is going to give an obstruction try. Certainly Martin Wood pulling Kavanagh back there, Jeff, and I think the referee perhaps right on that occasion.
Yeah, I think he didn't have a lot of choice there, didn't the referee? Martin Wood pulled him back, and obviously it's a 4-pointer under the post, probably 2 points more.
I do believe Kavanagh may well have got to the ball anyway. Martin Wood did pull him back. He's given the conversion under the sticks instead of 3 or 4 yards to the right hand side. Possibly wouldn't have made too much difference on the conversion stakes as far as Kavanagh was concerned. We wait and see. Firmly through the centre, 6 points apiece, 9.5 minutes on the clock. There's Ruane, then 10 metres from the halfway line. Barrow coming forward once more. Eccles offering the ball but not releasing it, instead continuing going. Nice ball out to Kavanagh. Certainly Kavanagh, the man is running off Eccles all the way, but now this is Stephen Shaw for Barrow. 5 tackles being used inside the Keighley 20 as Creary gets the ball from the acting half. Kavanagh going for a drop, but it hit the body really. That's always feel that that's a cruel decision. I always feel, Jeff, that that's a cruel decision. The man turned his back on the ball, yet they counts back to 6.
Yeah, it's a bit of an arse decision, is that really? Like I say, Keith Dixon put his hands up, it only just hit him on the leg, and they get another 6, which is a bit unlucky really for Keighley.
As it is then going through for the chase, Mark Brook-Cowden misses him. Nice kick through there, Stuart Rhodes getting the 4 points. A lovely kick through on the floor. 17 minutes on the clock, Barrow take the lead. Conversion miss, so we stay at 10 points to 6 then. Gets up, plays the ball quickly to Ramshaw, now brings on Grimmer. Joe Grimmer not really had too much chance to show so far, not had much chance in the attacking vein, that is. but certainly in the pre-season match against Bradford Northern he was causing all sorts of problems. Austin out there to Walker, nice handling movement across the field, ball thrown out there. Appleby taking the ball through his legs, the ball going backwards, and certainly looks to be getting a little bit greasy, does that ball now, as everybody having a bit of difficulty handling. Nice kick through there by Ayres, taking on the full-back, but just that little bit too close to him, but well followed up by Andy Ayres. Takes Petcher out in possession, and again doing the tackling on the man who's gone behind to take the acting half position, wing Phil Everett. Good tackling there by Keighley, forcing the Barrow player back inside his own 10-metre area. And again some tremendous pushing back and tackling. Barrow supporters not liking the way Keighley are tackling Petcher there, but absolutely nothing wrong with it. Ball kicked downfield, well taken there by John Walker. Walker just having had a little bit of treatment following the previous tackle from his run down there, but recovered okay now as Dixon brings on the big fella Gately, but well met there by Bob Eccles. A dozen metres or so in front of the post as Martin Wood goes on, gets Greg Austin into the picture as Ayres now to Mark Brooke-Cowden. Brooke-Cowden stepping but not able to step inside that Barrow defence, and again it's Steve Hall taking on with his full weight going in, but the referee says he's held on his back. Just trying to settle these two front rows. Out the Keighley side, Appleby then brings on Keith Dixon. Keith was on the move there, but the ball not coming quickly to him. Brought down, and Andy Ayres now steps inside. Again, just a little bit on the top side, the tackle, but Mr. Carter's been very lenient both ways with the tackle up the top area this afternoon. Inside the 10-metre line then of Barrows. Keighley come forward. Joe Grimmer leads the charge to the post. A ball out there to Mark Brooke-Cowden. A lovely offload there by Joe Grimmer. Mark Brooke-Cowden sniffing on his right-hand side. The ball popped up into his hands and underneath the black dot. Lovely try there, Jeff. John Basilou then just settling himself. Set that ball down right in front of the post. 10 points apiece to score. And safely through the centre. That's 12 points to 10 to Keighley. 12 on Barrow's side. It looks like Hadley, the man who I saw go off, has been put in the sin bin for 10 minutes for something that was said after the Keighley try. Talking, in fact, to the referee or the touch judges as Martin Wood now takes play inside that 20-metre area. This all resulting from the ball being kicked straight into touch from the restart by Barrow. Joe Grimmer again bursting through, taking a lot offloading there, well taken by Darren Appleby. The man sniffing not there at the time, as now it's Ramshaw. Ayres with the ball. Keighley have got the numbers over here. Can they burst through the defence? Ayres tackled in this corner. A kick through and a chase there, and a chase. And in fact, Petcher being adjudged to have got there, but it must have been very, very close. The decision. He didn't get there first. Good drop out there. Well taken, just inside the Barrow half by Appleby. On to Dixon. Dixon doing the run round the defence. Oh, and he's going. His Dixon steps inside, but there's no support with him. Oh, dearie me, that was very unfortunate. Keith Dixon looked as though it got try written all over. Jason Ramshaw not able to take the ball from Joe Grimmer. So we've got a knock on there, and oh, what a tremendous run there by Keith Dixon, Jeff. With Barrow now feeding that scrum, and it's won against the head to Keighley this time. Andy Ayres swatted aside there by the Barrow defender. Steve Hall taking them on. 5 of them, in fact, taking to slow him and stop him there. A metre from the Barrow line as Ramshaw out there to Wood. Wood switches the ball inside to Stevenson. Stevenson going, but not able to breach that defence. Barrow defence holding firm at the moment. Ramshaw trying to bore his way through, and he does do successfully. Well, Jeff, how often we see that and people in the crowd say what a waste of an attempt, but certainly on that case, on that occasion, Jason Barrow dug deep enough and got under the defence.
Yeah, that's right. You'll always see Jason have a bash at the line from dummy half when he gets so close. That's good pressure from Keighley, and we've got the points to reward from that.
Offered to the timekeeper, but nonetheless, in the meantime, John Basilou puts the extra 2 on, takes the score now to Keighley 18, Barrow 10. Keighley now launching another attack towards the Barrow post, and Mark Brooke-Cowden this time 10 metres inside the Barrow half. Jason Ramshaw through the hands of Ayres to Appleby. Appleby skipping inside the Barrow defence, but and there's a case of a flopper, but Mr Carter not interested as 15 Casson flopped on to the man in possession, and that ball knocked back, the man definitely offside. Neil Casson, the man adjudged to have done that. Desperation stakes in the Barrow defence there, Jeff, and Neil Casson just on the field, just not with the game. And again the left boot strikes firmly and surely. And it's Ayres. Appleby steps through the gap. He's got Ayres outside him. Oh, he's opted to miss out Ayres. He gets it out to Pinkney. Pinkney screams up the wing side. That's what Pinkney came to Keighley for. But the touch judge says he was in touching goal. He said he scored it in touching goal. How unfortunate, but what a... Mr Carter seems to think it may only be 4. Little run down there with Eccles, nice ball out, tackle missed by Appleby, and ball dropped there. Well, I'm afraid the decision there, the referee says in fact that Mark Brooke-Cowden was offside. He certainly couldn't have been offside from not regaining the 10 metres because play was over 10 metres away from where that offence took place. Nonetheless, he's the man in charge, he's the man to mystify us all, and he's certainly done so twice in succession now with penalties for Barrow against Keighley. Barrow then take up play, Kavanagh running across the face, looked a bit forward there to Eccles, but referee Carter not particularly worried about it. Ruane then on to loose forward, Shaw trying to drive his way through the middle, but Stevenson and Hall having none of it. And again it's Kavanagh using Hadley as the foil. There was Jackson, gets to his feet, plays the ball to Trainer runs round with Hadley, but Hadley takes the ball forward, loses the ball in the tackle. The referee says play on. It's kicked through there. John Walker's in possession, takes it over the try line, over the dead ball line, and in fact is hurt in the process. Taken into the hoardings, into the boarding. Again the run round, missing out, bringing on the fullback Petchy, and that's a nice break there by Trainer. Trainer in at the corner. Trainer in at the corner. Certainly a good run round there by the standoff Wayne Jackson, the centre of the field. Caught Keighley napping. The ball came out quickly to this side. Pat Trainer the man on the end of it, and he finished off, Jeff. It looks good if it's got the legs. It is good. And that's a tremendous morale booster for Barrow. They've come out in this second half, almost immediately pulled back 6 points. They're now within 4 points of Keighley, 16 points to 20 they trail. Ruane across to Rhodes, the man causing a bit of a problem for the defence of Barrow, of Keighley rather, but a mistake there gives Keighley the ascendancy now, some 15 metres out. Martin Wood, the man doing the sweeping up. Ramshaw onto Ayres. Ayres brings on Dixon. Dixon hands off the first man, and Pinkney's in for his first try for the club. Good handling there, certainly good handling. Well, a good opportunity picked up by Martin Wood when Barrow spilled the ball, and Keighley really just exercised very swift and sure hands across the field, Jeff. The crowd hush. And it looks good, but it's just drifting away, the wind just pushing it out from the post. But certainly a good attempt there by John Basilou. a clash of heads there between Carlton Farrell and Pat Traynor. But this is Steve Hall for Keighley, hanging tight to that ball, and certainly Pat Traynor come the worst for those exchanges, yeah.
Yes, he won't thank Carlton Farrell for that one.
Bill Stevenson going through. The referee says that the tackle by Rhodes was on the shoulder. One or two in the crowd thought otherwise, as Martin Wood now offloads to Ayres, Ayres to Austin, Austin there to Appleby, Appleby sees the hole, he goes, he's in for a try, and that's an opportunism. Just a little bit of quick thinking there, a good pass by Greg Austin, Jeff pierced open the defence, and Appleby went like a whippet for the post. Safely converted by John Vassalou. 15 to 16 metres inside the Barrow half. Ramshaw picks up the ball, plays it and brings on Steve Hall. Steve Hall still going forward. A good 15-metre gain there by Steve Hall on that charge. And it's Ramshaw again at acting half, onto Ayres, Ayres to Stevenson, the big fella going through the centre of the park. Gets inside the Barrow 10-metre area as Ramshaw now. The Cougar row goes up behind the post, Mark Cowden still inside that 10-metre line. Foul on the near side for the foul for the dummy run as Appleby dummies and looks to get through the gap. He manages to get the ball away to Steve Hall, but the big chap not able to get to the line and score. He's brought down yards short. Martin Wood puts the ball for a kick through, but doesn't take into account the fact that the Barrow players might just have been in the way. And it's Kavanagh who says thanks very much and picks the ball up from the rebound from his own shins. Chris Honey, the substitute for Barrow, nominally a standoff half, but not really sure which position he's playing at the moment. Barrow moving the ball across the field, but Hadley caught in possession that time, caught in two minds. Previous to that he'd been distributing the ball across, and that's a good kick downfield. Keighley. Eccles again, the ball out at arm's length, offering the ball for the oncoming player, but nobody to take it as Ruane chips over the top there, unable to get to the ball. The ball's bouncing about all over like a lump of soap. It's knocked on left, right and centre, but because Keighley knocked on first, the try's allowed. But and Jason Ramshaw gets the ball across there to Andy Ayres on to Martin Wood, and Keighley just falling over each other a little bit in the centre of the park there. But Nick Pinkney managing to tiptoe his way down this touchline side. Shaw, the loose forward, just giving him a bit of treatment as Andy Ayres now strides away, taken by the collar, on there to Carlton Farrell, but Farrell unable to take it, taken out by Rhodes, but 30 metres out from the Barrow line. Andy Ayres again, steps through the centre. Has he got the legs to go? Is the fullback going to catch him? Is his momentum going to take him through? The answer is no to them all, apart from the fullback catching him. But this is Appleby. If the ball moves quickly, Keighley must score. Might have moved a bit too quickly. Out to the wing to Pinkney, but the ball not being given. Nick Pinkney had the line open to him. Carlton Farrell heading the ball forward. Barrow receiving it, and panic all the way to the pay desk there as far as Keighley were concerned. There was plenty of room inside for them to get in, but they refused to take the opportunity. The result not in doubt, I don't think, but I would have thought Keighley would have felt a lot happier had they been able to have finished on the high note of a try there. As it is, inside their own 20-metre area, John Vassalou gets the ball from Keith Dixon, tackled as he clears his 20-metre line. That's the end of the game. The first 2 points of the new season go to Keighley. We saw tries in the first half from John Vassalou, Mark Cowden and Jason Ramshaw. We also saw tries in the second half for Nick Pinkney and Darren Appleby, with the necessary goals from John Basilou. And I think, all in all, Jeff, a satisfying opening to the season, but as you said, just 1 or 2 question marks about the defence.
Yeah, obviously it's not easy coming up to Barrow to play a side like this. I think 2 points is 2 points, so yeah, we've a bit of work to do, but we'll see how it goes from there.
Well, thank you very much indeed, Jeff Butterfield, for joining us this afternoon as the rain really comes down on the pitch here at Craven Park. The Keighley players thanking the supporters who've travelled all the way up here. Tremendous game, tremendous result.
As I said before, Cougar Vision is unique, and as well as bringing you coverage of Cougar games, we'll be following the team to places other programmes wouldn't dare go. But first, here's Cougar News with Mick O'Neill.
There's been a lot of coverage in the media recently regarding the Cougar Vision project, from articles in the trade papers to visits by the BBC. Beth bumped into Harry Grayson, presenter of BBC Look North, and asked him what he thought of the work being undertaken at Cougar Park.
You know, I came here about 4 or 5 years ago, and I have to say I thought this was just going nowhere very, very quickly indeed. I didn't think it would be around. To see what's happening here is remarkable. I mean, I understand they're even going to have a nightclub now, which I think is an indication of the commitment that the directors have given down here. And I just hope that the public of Keighley realise what's being done down here, because they've got to respond in their own particular way by coming through the turnstiles and supporting a team which I think has got a real future.
The debut match of the season against the Barrow Braves saw the first ever Cougar convoy. Around 50 Cougarized cars travel the 86 miles to Barrow. They were met by marauding Indians. Perhaps a bot of marauding was in order, as 90 minutes later, the Braves had been scalped by the Cougars.
I used to watch Keighley a lot of years. I started watching again last season, and I'm here to watch it today. Worthwhile.
The Cougars have gained new talent this season with 3 new signings. Kevin Ma from Australia, known as Magic Ma, is a wide-running second-row forward with a great pair of hands. Nicknamed Rocket Man, Greg Austin, a free-scoring centre, is joining the Cougars, having spent the last 3 years as leading try-scorer at Halifax. Greg and the Cougar coach Peter Rowe both worked together at Halifax. Finally, former Great Britain under-21 Nick Pinkney has left Rydale York to lend his considerable talents to the Cougars. Nick, it has been said, runs like a whippet. Watch him go. Prior to Sunday's game against the Cougars, Beth bumped into a very familiar face in the crowd, David Howes, Public Relations Manager at the Rugby League. He told Beth what he thought of the Cougars' plans for the season.
One of the reasons we're coming today is, in fact, not only is it the match of the day in either division, but also to look at the work on the terrace into our right here, and particularly the new shell that's going up for the new club and cafe. And congratulations to the Keighley board. They really have made this a top ground in the area and very much a community club.
Have you got any predictions for today's game?
I think this will be tight, this one. The Batley people went with a prediction of a tight game but a victory for them last Friday, and they got beat 40 points to 6. So I think as a neutral today, it's one of those games where you sit back and watch what I would think would be a very tight game indeed.
Next on Cougar Vision, we have Rattle Your Cage, which gives you, the fans, your chance to have your say.
It's time to rattle your cage.
What do you think of the changes?
I think it's very good for the town. I think it's done a lot good for the town, especially Cougars winning 3rd Division champions. I mean, it's done good for the crowd, especially for the town. It's to give them a big boost.
It'd be good if they have a nightclub and that. I think it's what town needs, and it's generated a lot of interest in town of Keighley.
I think the ground's great. They're doing well with the directors for us, and the team, if they play like they did last season with the new signings as well, they should be up there at the top, I think.
The London Crusaders by 10 points. Cougars! Cougars!
Like Rattle Your Cage, another weekly bit of fun will be Soap Dish, where you can join me in the showers with one of the players. But first, here's the highlights from Sunday's game against London Crusaders. Again, John Blizzard commentates.
And now it's feeding time.
Well, good afternoon then, and welcome to Cougar Park for this first home game of the 93-4 season. The Keighley Cougars taking the field at the moment, and their line-up for this afternoon: at fullback is Jeff Butterfield, the three-quarters John Vasilou, Nick Pinkney and Greg Austin in the centres, with Keith Dixon on the opposite wing, half-backs Darren Appleby and Andy Ayres, and the forwards Joe Grimmer, Jason Ramshaw, Ian Gately, Mark Brook-Cowden, Phil Stevenson and Martin Wood. And for the opposition this afternoon, it's London Crusaders, travelled up overnight, stayed in Brighouse, and their team is John Gallagher at fullback, the ex-Leeds player, Jason Walker, Scott Roskill, Dixon McIver and Mark Johnson, Neville Ramsey, Mark Riley the half-backs, Danny Mulcarin, Scott Carter, Chris Whiteley, Chris Smith, Sam Stewart the captain and Steve Roslan. The substitutes are Ian Purriman and Darren Mikalski. The referee this afternoon, Stuart Cummins from Widnes, and Jay Jones and Mr Walton, the touch judges. Having a little bit of trouble at the moment with the public address system, but I'm certain we'll overcome that. Darryl, a good start last week up at Barrow, and this is the first home game of the season. The new signings are on show for the Keighley public. What do you think we're going to see today?
A good game with a bit of luck, John. Like you said, a good start last week. A good start in so much as it was 2 points. The defence needs a little bit of work. I'm sure they'll have worked on it this week, sorted some what problems there were about, and hopefully today we should have a really good game.
Mr Cummins then, the referee, gets the action underway. It's Keith Dixon playing in the unaccustomed position on the wing today, making way at the full-back position for Jeff Butterfield to take the place. And we're just outside the London 20-metre area. Forward pass there, well seen by Mr Cummins. Forward pass, in fact, going to Danny Mulcarin. And so we'll see a scrum form then just outside the Keighley, the London 20-metre area. Andy Ayres of Keighley, resplendent again in the new kit, on show for the first time here at Cougar Park. And quite a few replicas on show already around the terraces. A good crowd this afternoon as the ball comes out the back of that scrum to Appleby. On then to Austin. He'll be hoping to, together with his fellow centre Nick Pinkney, hoping for a good showing this afternoon. And Mark Brook-Cowden, the former All Black, certainly attracting the attention of the New Zealand International Board at the moment, and hoping for a place possibly in the touring side that's coming over here later in the season. Phil Stevenson in the second row, tackle there. A big Joe Grimmer then takes the ball in. Every time he gets the ball, he sets the crowd alight, does Grimmer, but it's Ramshaw out through Ayres onto Wood. Wood chips over the top for the chase. Not getting there first. It's the number 12, Sam Stewart, the Crusaders captain, just beats Martin Wood to the touch. And the Crusaders faced with working their way out of their own 10-metre area. Again, Nick Pinkney just a bit topside. It hit the shoulder probably and rolled up. That ball never played there. The ball never played. In fact, it looks as though Mr Cummins has called back for a knock-on. I presume on the interception of the touch judge there, Darryl.
Yeah, he looked at the touch judge there, John. He didn't realise that the London lad dropped it after the tackle completed, so it scrummed down. Keighley had the ball.
30 metres out then from that London line as Keighley now through the hands of Appleby, half releasing Jeff Butterfield into the attack, still on that 30-metre line as play switched to this side. Martin Wood had Pinkney with him, just a shade close and running out of ground rapidly, but Wood plays the ball onto Dixon. Dixon skipping to get his way inside the 20-metre area of the Crusaders. Ramshaw, Mark Brook-Cowden onto Appleby, splits the defence, walks round Gallagher as though he didn't exist. Oh, what a lovely sidestep there to sidestep Gallagher under the post, Darryl.
Yes, it's all where John were looking. Went to the left, over to the right, literally got him for dead. Excellent sidestep, really good try.
John Vasilou then with the opportunity of adding the 2 points to make it 6. The left boot striking firmly 5 times at Barrow, and there's number 6. 20-metre line. Riley, the scrum half, offloads there to Whiteley. Whiteley infield and offloads again back to scrum half Riley. The little fella darting up the centre of the field, but doesn't escape the grasp of Ramshaw and Wood in the Keighley defence. Suspicion of a forward pass there to Sam Stewart. Referee happy with it though on that occasion. Oh, and Gallagher there splits the defence. In fact, he comes in to split the defence following a Neil Ramsey pass, and certainly Neil Ramsey found the gap there in the Keighley defence. Looking to convert his own try, which he does.
Conversion as well, a good goal by John Gallagher.
6 points apiece then, and 10 minutes on the board. Mr. Cummins just telling the Keighley pack to back off slightly. But again, no chance of that ball coming out their side. The crowd on, a little bit of shepherding there, no question about that. Certainly the number 3 Roskell was very well used by Ramsey. And Gallagher under all sorts of pressure there. The ball going back, says the referee. It's out for this touchline to Johnson. On their way through the hands of Dixon. And well tackled into touch there. Well tackled into touch. But certainly, Darrell, all that came from a shepherding movement over the far side by Ramsey, using Roskell to get round the opposition defence.
Certainly did there, John. Fortunately, we've got a better view than Mr. Cummins has. I think it might have been obstructed in his vision, but even so, Touchwood should have signalled it possibly and give him an idea. Should have seen it.
Yes, Mr. Cummins certainly seen plenty so far, but he definitely missed that shepherding offence, as Ayres now looks to run out of defence, but his diagonal run not able to break the defence. Stevenson skipping out of the first tackle, only to be brought down there by number 4 Dixon McIver. And it's Ian Blakely on the halfway line. Ramshaw through to Ayres. Stevenson just driving the ball in. The Cougars, well, they were setting up for something behind, but the ball being spilled as a tackle was made. And Crusaders making best advantage of this now as they come back into the Keighley half. Hooker Carter getting midway between the halfway line and the Cougars 20-metre line. Shepherd offered the ball, but it's Whiteley the man who takes it up. Carter just distributing the ball out this side to loose forward Rosalind. Rosalind tackled 20 metres from the Keighley line. Not the best of play the balls there. As centre Dixon McIver drives for the post. It's the last tackle, says Mr. Cummins. The ball being set up for an attempted drop goal, and it's through the post. There is that drop from Scott Carter. Getting the drop goal, Scott Carter. Then we've had 21 minutes.
Drop goal there for London by Scott Carter.
London Crusaders with a 1 point lead. Remember, they're coming up the slope, and we look as though we're going to get a substitution. Steve Hall, the big fellow with 15 on his shirt, replaces Stevenson.
Stevie Hall coming on for Joe Grimmer.
Oh, in fact, it's Joe Grimmer leaving. We thought it was Phil Stevenson leaving, but maybe just a slight injury worry to Joe Grimmer. Looked to me as though he was actually carrying an arm earlier. And number 8 there, Mulcurran. 10 metres inside the Keighley half of the field. And it's Carter across through the hands. Ramsey shows the ball but goes for the gap, gets through the gap. Oh, and a forward pass, a fortnight there, but Mr. Cummins certainly didn't see that one. Definitely forward. And the Crusaders taking full advantage of this with the chip over the top. Dixon's the man there, but palms it dead. But Darrell, when is Stuart Cummins going to see these forward passes?
Well, we've said it a long time, John. This new rule now where the referee's taking them back 10. They're so far away from play that they're not seeing forward passes. As you know, we mark it down on the referee's assessments that they're out of position to see forward passes. And it was well out of position there, but it was going back to mark the 10-yard for the tackle to get everybody on side.
And certainly something needs to be done about that, because games can be won and lost with situations like that. Crusaders, being the professional side that they are, took full advantage, and that's a pass inside there, and hooker Carter again taking play to the 10-metre line as Stewart bounces the ball out there to McIver. McIver's going, rolls over but lose. Well, I thought he'd lost the ball in the tackle, but it was a good tackle there by John Vasilou. Stewart the man again forward, the referee this time seen it. Ironical cheers from the crowd.
The reason he saw that, John, if you look, it happened inside the 10-metre line. The referee was stood on the try line, so he's not the 10 yards away, which is what he normally is. He'd only been 5 or 6, which is what they used to be. So he saw that forward pass.
But yet, Keighley surrender possession there. Andy Ayres not getting to that ball as it comes out of the scrum. It's Crusaders again in the attacking line. Gallagher just steps a gear there as the man, the standoff, Ramsey, almost gets to the line, tackled inches short. Ball out then across through to Riley, the hooker, and again shepherding by number 8. And when is Mr. Cummins going to see the shepherding then? That's twice he's missed it. No question about it. Mulcurran was in a shepherding position and the Crusaders defence used him. The ball going back all the time there as Gallagher does the sweeping up at the back of the Crusaders defence. 27 minutes on the clock as Gallagher plays the ball inside the Keighley 10-metre line. An attempted good interception there, but all it does is give the Crusaders another set of 6 as Whiteley palms the ball off there. The ball knocked back and it's back to 6 again. Back to 6 again. McIver the man taking the ball in. The slate white clean and desperate defence called here by the Keighley defence. McIver slow to his feet, gets the ball in field to Ramsey. He's held a couple of metres short of the line. On then to Riley. Riley tries to feed Stewart, gets the ball away. Again a Keighley hand gets to the position of the ball. Gallagher on the touchline side, and in fact his touching goal. Ayres onto Appleby onto Gately, switches back inside to Austin. Austin's going, sidestepping through, is Appleby outside? He feeds Appleby out there to the wingman. John Vasilou's into the corner, a length of the field try. Oh, and what a good try that, but what a brilliant breakdown and sidestep by Greg Austin.
Just shows what pace can do there, John. The 3 pacemen there, the 4 pacemen there. Greg went down the middle, split him. They were diving up his backside, so to speak. Good pass. And then John coming like a tornado on the wing.
Hooked across the face of the post, badly there. Looked a bit like Steve Carter moved off the mark there, but the referee again not interested. John Vasilou stopping the wingman down this side, Jason Walker from going too much further. McIver through onto Ramsey. Ramsey to eventually to Gallagher. Gallagher offloads, and again the ball being knocked back, says Mr. Cummings. London just a little bit at 6s and 7s with each other there, but regathering now as the man Stewart, the organiser, gets back into the thick of things. Plays the ball, half there's the ball anyway. On there to Rosalind. Rosalind going on his own, spinning through the tackles, ball up in the air. Fortunately for Crusaders, it's back into Rosalind's hand. And it's the hooker Carter acting half-back. On to Riley, through Ramsey. Ramsey back to Riley. On the possibility again of shepherding. But there's a knock-on over the line there. Tackled into touch, in fact, says the referee. But Daryl, again, I've got to say again, it's a slight hint of shepherding by London.
Not so much a slight, John. There's a bloody great hint of shepherding there, really.
In substitutions, David Tanner for Keith Dixon, Smoking Joe's back for Phil Stevenson.
Phil Stevenson then and Keith Dixon leaving the field. Dave Tanner, the man on loan from Lee. And Joe Grimmer retakes the field as that ball into the scrum and out through to Ramsey. And again, we've got to call that as shepherding. I really do think that Mr Cummins has got a lot to learn. He may be a Grade 1 referee, Darrell, but that was an absolute disgrace by the referee.
Yeah, very bad, John. This shepherding's getting out of hand now. He's making a farce of the game.
Gallagher then looks to convert his own try. It's coming round nicely, but it hits the post. That gives the Crusaders a 1 point advantage. Thank you all the way through there to the referee Cummins. London Crusaders take the lead then, 11 points to 10. Stewart, the man up the centre of the field there, as Hooker Carter gets the ball out then to the loose forward Roslin. Roslin looking to offload. It's the last tackle coming up as Stewart now. Is he going to put the kick through? He is indeed, straight into the hands of John Basilou and straight back into the arms of Stewart. Keighley literally have got an uphill task now. They're only trailing by the 1 point. They've got to put these refereeing decisions behind them and get up to the other end of the field and get some points on the board. Confident in their ability to do so as Appleby offloads there. I beg your pardon, Gately offloaded to Appleby. Darren Appleby just a little bit surprised at that ball coming, but nonetheless it's balls like that that catch the opposition out. We're almost on the halfway line as Andy Ayres gets the ball away. Martin Wood through to Ramshaw. Ramshaw half stopped. It's the last one again. He's 15 metres inside the opposition half of the field. Gately onto Ayres. Ayres puts the ball up. In fact, it goes backwards. Needs to be put back again, and that's a good kick up field by substitute Dave Tanner right into the opposition's try line here. Carter then plays the ball and predictably switched to the far side. McIver on the run round there with his other centre, Roskell. Roskell being driven back, but the ball being released in the tackle to loose forward Rosalind. It's the last one coming up, says the referee. Plays 30 metres out from the Cougars line, and Stewart going to put this ball to that bottom corner. Again a test for Jeff Butterfield. Caught there by Owen, a knock on, and it's a handover. It's the last tackle, it's a handover, but really had he taken that ball cleanly, the Keighley defence absolutely outnumbered on the far side as Martin Wood gets the ball out then to Austin. Austin switches play back to Basilou. Basilou comes outside, but is he pushed into touch? In fact, he's thumped into touch. The referee penalised the number 10 there, Chris Whiteley, for going in after the tackle had been completed. Martin Wood puts the ball again almost into our commentary position. Jason Ramshaw all offside. The Crusaders defends, moving off the mark before the ball was played. The touch judge at the far side keeping his flag up. The referee totally ignoring it as Ayres gets the ball out then to Hall. Hall breaks just into the Crusaders half of the field. Ramshaw acting half. On to Brooke Cowden. Brooke Cowden steps back inside, but the crowd not liking something they saw there. Didn't particularly see anything here. And again, in the centre of the defence, Carter the man offside, but he's created the gap for Martin Wood. Wood going round, he's found Greg Austin. Is Greg Austin going to score? Oh, and there's a knock on. Why oh why didn't Greg Austin go in his own there, Darrell?
I don't know, John. The gap were there for him. I think if had he opened his legs and gone, he'd have gone this side of the post. No problem at all.
Because Ayres feeds this scrum. In and out, slips slightly on the turf as Appleby, well, possibly a shepherd in there. As Steve Hall this time drives in, still on the 10-metre lines, to the right-hand side of the Crusaders' post. Ramshaw waits at acting half, fetches on Mark Brooke Cowden as Gately went on the dummy run. A couple of metres now out, the crowd rise to the occasion as Ramshaw tries to bore his way through. And the ball's lost, but looked as though it might have been knocked on. Mr Cummins not in a position to have adjudged that. 15 metres from the Cougars line as Carter gets the ball from acting half on through the hands of Riley to the big number 8, Mulcurrin. 10 metres from the Cougars line as Carter gets up from acting half back. Stevenson down and injured. He's just returned to the field, and there's the gap, and there's the try. And there's the man who scored it, Riley. He enjoys it.
Riley.
Facing the opposition who moved the ball as quick as Gallagher firmly plants that ball between the posts.
Score there by John Gallagher.
Ball in and out to Ayres at the back of the park, but slipping on the grass as he comes round the back, losing his footing. Mark Brook-Cowden, Nick Pinkney, Keighley, of course, got to score twice to get the points. I beg your pardon, that was Tanner, not Pinkney. Nice ball out there to Ramsey, inside there to Austin now going. He's running out of players there. He's got the London defence was coming across from the far side in numbers, and certainly bags have lain on there. The referee eventually penalising Ramsey. A little bit slow there with the penalty. Nonetheless, he came up with it, Daryl, but there was certainly plenty of laying on there by the London Crusaders defence.
Certainly well there, John. Yeah, we're very late in deciding it was a penalty, but it certainly was one. Did right giving it.
Martin Wood then puts the ball into touch. Probably a bit of a debate maybe have gone on there about whether John Vassalou should have had 2 points or attempted 2 points, but Steve Hall leading the charge. Keighley have been up in this area a number of times in this half without coming away with any points. They need some points this time, and that's a penalty for interfering. Now if that's a penalty for interfering, Darryl, that's professional, that's a sin bin.
See what he gives, John. I can't. Yes, he's giving for interfering, like you said, kicking out. Like you say, should have been a sin bin then.
And not only that, Steve Hall results in an injury, and certainly something gone on there. The crowd behind the post shouting about it. I didn't see it as Appleby looks for the hole but just can't get through it and can't get the ball away either. Martin Wood on his own. Martin Wood steps and he scores, does he? The referee says no, it's a knock on. Ramshaw then onto Ayres to Appleby, the run round onto Martin Wood, Wood to Ayres to Austin, Austin finds Butterfield tackled by Gallagher, almost into touch, but that's a little bit better as far as Keighley are concerned. It's Ayres now, Ayres looking for the man, using the shepherd himself. He's seen them get away with it the other way, thinks he'll have a go himself as Gately finds himself with nobody within 10 metres of him to get the ball away, as Ayres again setting something up with Hall. Hall looks to get the ball out, but he can't, he's tackled. It's Vassalou acting half back. Vasalou's going to go and try and go on his own. 2 or 3 metres, that's all, as Nick Pinkney onto Ayres. Ayres out to Appleby. Appleby looks for the hole, but Keighley, of course, missing a player. Possibly the essential man as Pinkney goes round the outside, but well tackled there by the loose forward Rosalind. It's the last tackle and a last ditch tackle as far as Crusaders are concerned. A try saving one there by Rosalind. And I've got to ask whether Mr. Carter, in fact the referee says yes, Carter offside. I'm not altogether sure there whether in fact Perryman threw a boot, but it's Ayres out to Appleby. Appleby, the need to draw a man. Austin going through. Austin's strength taking no. And there's got to be sin bin as Roskell this time. He has indeed. Roskell sin bin for 10 minutes for professional foul, and he's now walking across the face of play. Should take the short way off. In fact, I would think the referee could well send him off. He's now stopped the clock. He's indicated that he's stopped the clock to the timekeepers. He's not allowing play to continue, but really that man should have gone off the shortest way, I would have thought, Daryl, as Ramshaw comes in. Offloads to Ayres there, out to Wood. Wood now to Butterfield. Butterfield's got Pinkney with him. Pinkney not able to get the ball, and Crusaders diving on it, Daryl. Appleby then across to Pinkney. Pinkney getting away, striding, nice ball out there to Austin. Austin's got Vassalou outside. Vasalou's going under the post. John Vassalou scores the try. A good break there. Well fed again by that man, Austin. Oh, and it's gone across the face of the post, so still 3 points the arrears. Steve Hall, the man, into the tackle, but that's the end of the game.
There you go, folks.
It's a defeat by London Crusaders of Keighley by 14 points to 17 in their favour. After the game then, a disappointing result as far as Keighley were concerned, but I have with me John Walker, who, equally disappointing as far as the fans and he is concerned, received rather a nasty injury last week up at Barrow. A collision with the hoardings, John, wasn't it?
Yes, it was. It was a concrete block wall. Unfortunately, as I was approaching the wall, it eased off and then was shoved in the back and collided with the wall, which forced my wrist to bend back. And at the time, I thought I'd broken my scaphoid. But as later shown on the X-ray, it's my radius that was broken. But unfortunately, again, it hasn't displaced. So luckily, it'll be in pot for 4 weeks and back playing in 6, hopefully.
So the bottom line as far as the spectators are concerned then, John, is 6 weeks layoff at the worst and possibly back in 4 or 5.
Hopefully, yes.
We've got a game next week at Rochdale. We've a lot to prove at Rochdale. We lost there last season in the Championship playoffs. I'm sure it'll be a different Keighley side that take the field next week.
Yeah, I think it will, and one result don't make us a bad side. As I said earlier, we withstood 18 tackles and came back with a superb try, and that just shows the character in the team. And I think we'll get back on the road next week.
It was very sad sights for the spectators, for ourselves, seeing you limp off towards the end of the game. It looked as though it was a hamstring. Is it a hamstring, and if it is, how bad is it?
I've pulled my hamstring in 20 minutes into the game. I'm not sure how bad it is, but I think with rest, I could be back within 2 weeks.
And now, are you ready for soap dish?
Keep it clean, lads. It's soap dish.
I'm outside the Cougars' changing rooms, where apparently Darren Appleby's standoff for the Cougars is inside. What's your best moment that you remember playing rugby?
My best moment? Well, last year Keighley Cougars won 3rd Division and just been involved.
Where's the best place that you've played rugby?
Best place? Back home, as you can tell, from Australia. And Sydney Football Stadium, back home. Quite a nice stadium.
So what do you do after a game then?
Well, all depends on the result. If it's a win, obviously probably a few celebrating sort of drinks, a couple of pints maybe. And if it's a loss, well, sort of not in the mood to celebrate. So I'll probably sulk like the coach.
Do you sing in the shower?
Sorry?
Do you sing in the shower?
No, not really. I can't sing. I haven't got the best voice in the world.
What's your prized possession?
Shocking.
Daffy Duck, my man.
What advice would you give to young children about to start out in rugby league?
In rugby league, always listen to your coach. Very important to listen to your coach. Basically, just listen and learn.
And how does it feel to be a sex symbol?
Sex symbol? Well, I don't know, because I'm not. No, it's not too bad, I suppose. I can handle it.
Do you know it's a cougar fact?
And now for one of our weekly Cougargrams. Each week we're going to be dropping in on an unsuspecting target, possibly with flowers, or possibly with something a little less subtle.
It's a Cougargram.
I'm outside the Keighley Cougars VIP lounge where Mrs Violet Firth, Keighley Community Personality of the Year, is inside. Mike Smith, director of the Cougars, is about to surprise her.
That's not Bill.
Violet, it's a cougar, congratulations. The whole cougar farm. Let's go for television.
It's If you'd like to nominate anyone to receive a Cougar-gram, be it a bunch of flowers or a pie in the face, then send in your nominations to me, Beth Herbert, here at Cougar Park. And now...
Right, Peter, what about the injuries for next week at Rochdale?
Can you do us a Cougar roar?
Oh, no chance.
Start again. Can you do us a Keighley, what's it called, a Cougar roar?
No.
Well, we've just about run out of time. Tune in next week for coverage of the Rochdale match and more fun and games on Cougar Vision. Before we go, I'd like to leave you with some of the best Cougar roars we found on the terraces this week. Over to you.
And now, Roar of the Week.
Cougars! Cougars! Cougars!
Cougars!
Go on. Cougars! Cougars!
Right, Pete, what's the injury situation for Rochdale next week? What's it like?
Well, wonderful. No, okay, well, we've a slight problem with Joe Grimmer, who picked up a nasty hamstring injury, and Ian Keighley with a similar type of injury. The rest of them are bumps and bruises, and I'm really at this point in time just waiting to see, get a report off the physio and see where we're going Thursday night.
What happens after Thursday?
Well, depending on the team we can put out against Rochdale, we're going there obviously pretty optimistic. We've got to come to terms, I feel. We've played against teams like Rochdale and Huddersfield and London because they played in the higher league of football last year, and it'd be a lot easier really to go out against these teams with a fully fit squad rather than maybe half a squad and the rest of them injured players.
OK, but what happens if we lose?
Well, we had a fantastic away support last year, and I'm sure that on the occasion when we played First Division teams last year, they really were the reason why we did very well, and they're very important to us, and I hope they get behind us even though we didn't do so well last week, and I'm sure that extra 1,000 or 2 that we take with us really is a big boost to our hopes of winning away from home.
There you go, many thanks to Peter Rowe. That was the first of many interviews we're going to have with him. This is the first programme of many programmes. Hope you've enjoyed it. We're all going to Rochdale on Sunday. We're going to murder them. I'm going to eat my cigar with that certain. See you, folks. Peter Rowe's Barmy Army.
To you, I come clean. We need a break from the old routine.